Hi, the internet. Welcome to the What Else Show. I'm Robert, and this is Bethany. Say hi, Bethany.
Hi, internet.
Today we're doing a show.
Doing a show today. We're doing a show today.
Right now.
About Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. The end of Game of Thrones.
The end of Game of Thrones.
The season finale. The last
series finale. The series finale. Not just the season finale.
You're right.
Because it's over.
Definitely.
It's over. It's just all
Love
over.
it or hate it. It's gone.
It's done.
We're doing this episode because one of our adoring fans asked us what we thought about the end. I guess maybe they knew we did the other episode, so we knew we watched, so they're wondering what we thought of the end.
Yes.
They weren't super specific about the last episode or just the fact that the whole series is over now. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
And I think it's a good time to talk about it. We're not too close to the end. We're not still in it. You know what I mean? All the dust is settled.
Right.
All the ashes in King's Landing have settled.
God.
Right?
Yes.
All right.
So sad.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
You want to give your thoughts?
My thoughts.
You want to critique this beloved show? Go ahead. So tell them what you think.
You want me to go first? For all the so I'll prepare mentally for all the internet hate, all the shade people are going to throw my way for my thoughts. I thought the ending was terrible.
Terrible.
I thought the ending was terrible. I thought I wanted more from the end.
You wanted more.
I wanted more from the last season.
You're talking about the entire last season. You wanted more.
Yes.
From beginning episode 1 of the last season to episode 6 of the last season.
Yes, because I just felt like there was a lot of stuff missing, and I was not impressed with how they ended it, especially in the final episode. So I was very disappointed by the last season. Disappointing overall.
What in particular had you disappointed?
I thought that there was a huge lack of character development. Huge opportunities were squandered.
Squandered opportunities such as giving us more insight into Bran and who he became as a character. I agree. That's one of the biggest problems I had, is that we were following along with Bran's story, and I don't know what, season 4, 5, right? And then we didn't really see much of him. And now all of a sudden, oh, you're the king, Bran. Like, I get that it subverted expectations, but I don't think it subverted expectations in a good way. I think it subverted expectations in a bad way. Like, if you're expecting something to happen and something else happens and you're like, oh, I should have saw that coming, you know? That's subverting expectations in a good way. This was nothing you expected to happen and something else happened and you're like, why did that happen?
Why did they do that?
Yeah.
I don't understand what happened.
So Bran becomes king, right? He's elected king, I guess, by all these people.
Elected king.
All these people at one point were thinking of taking the Iron Throne for themselves. I guess because it's the end of the series, they all agree that Bran should.
So
be king.
Convenient, yes.
Yeah.
So convenient the way they wrapped it all up.
Right, and it makes sense for the people of Westeros that happened, but it doesn't make sense for the people watching watching the series.
We're not a member of their society, so it doesn't make sense to us.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. I get it in that regard.
Yes.
But as people watching, like, they could have put a character that had never been in the series before. This is the first episode we're meeting them, and it would have made less sense, but as much sense. Yeah.
Yes, because we were so disconnected from Bran.
Right.
And I will say one thing that I did like.
Let me give my opinion before we get too deep into it.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was okay, not very good. My expectations, I think, were too high when it started. And then by the time the last episode came around, my expectations were so low that I thought, okay, yeah, this is okay. But my expectations dipped so hard from season 8, episode 1 to
season 8, episode 6 that like the ending came around and I wasn't that excited for it. I didn't think they were going to finish it off great.
Right. Because you were kind of expecting a mediocre ending because of the disappointment you experienced throughout the entire season.
I mean, that being said,
that kind of,
it's still one of the greatest fantasy shows that has ever been on television.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Oh, so, I mean, absolutely.
If these words are harsh, it's because we had such high expectations for it.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely. Yes.
Right. If you're looking at a birthday cake and you take a bite of the birthday cake and it tastes like white Wonder Bread under it, you know, it's not the shittiest cake ever made. Wonder Bread is delicious.
Right.
But you were expecting
something
cake.
Else. Right. I know. I understand what you're saying. And I agree.
Okay. Let's get into the details of things we didn't like about the ending, and then we'll go into things that we did like about the ending. Okay, didn't like.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Okay. Didn't like that they vilified Daenerys.
You don't like that they vilified her? Is
that
like a story problem or a show problem?
So here's what I think. So this is what I didn't like. They vilified her within a span of about 30 seconds.
She did some other evil shit throughout the series.
But it wasn't evil.
Yeah, I know.
Given the context of all of the other stuff going on around her, and in those situations where she destroyed Sam's family, the Tullys.
It was harsh. It wasn't
Tarleys.
Evil.
The Tarleys.
I've been saying Turley.
Turley? The Tarleys. And Sam is the Turleys. So anyways, I don't like how quickly they just flipped a switch and now she's a bitch. Yeah, and I didn't.
They took her from stern disciplinarian to murderer.
Yes, to mass murderer. She massacred the entire city and they just didn't build up to it enough.
I agree.
It just happened. And it was like, and they kind of showed this anger and struggle on her face for like a second, and it was just kind of like, how did that happen so quickly? Yeah. This escalated quickly.
Okay. Well, that's one character.
That's one character. I didn't like that Arya who was hell-bent on revenge and
yeah, she kind of flipped a switch too.
Yeah, it was very odd.
I mean, she's going on her adventures, she doesn't have a list anymore, so
yeah, but it wasn't explored enough. All of a sudden, okay, the Hound is talking to her and then she's like, oh, okay, thanks. And then just...
Well, nobody's ever talked to her
That's
before.
it. I know, but it's like, why did it take 10 seconds for her to go from assassin bent on revenge to, I mean, I get it, but it could have used a little bit more development.
Yeah. The whole last season was rushed.
It was very rushed.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything
it's very rushed.
We can say. I mean, what can we say about the series that doesn't have to do with it was rushed?
The series as a whole?
The end.
The end.
Yeah, how it all came together at the end.
Aside from the word disappointing, it's like...
No, I'm talking about in the show. So Jamie and
Brienne,
but Jamie
is that who you're looking for?
And Cersei.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They died. Mm-hmm. King's Landing.
Decimated.
What is the castle in King's Landing? What's the name of it? The Red Keep.
Yeah.
The Red Keep crushes them. They're together. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. I feel like the show wants me to feel like, oh, they died together. That's sweet or romantic,
bittersweet
or something.
Sad. Yeah.
But it's not. I feel nothing for them. I've always felt like Jamie was an asshole through the whole series.
Yeah.
And then I was still waiting for him to do more to get his redemption.
To redeem himself.
And he never did it for me. And then he went back, and like, I can almost feel what the show wants me to think. But like, I am thinking something different. Like, well, this guy's an asshole, she's an asshole, and they're dead. And like,
see, I had a different reaction.
Okay.
So, like, I was sad to see them there dead, but it didn't hit me emotionally until Tyrion got emotional and sad about it, because I have like a very strong connection to Tyrion. He was one of my favorite characters in the books. But I was okay till like Tyrion started crying, and then I felt that emotion that they wanted.
You know, might have been checked out by the time that happened, though.
It's possible, yeah, because
he's sad. I get it.
Yeah,
I mean, he would have been sad if anything would have happened to them. It didn't have to be this lackluster ending, as far as I was concerned. It was. I don't know what I expected to happen. I just expected it to either be a redemption story for Jaime. Maybe he could have killed Cersei. You know, maybe Cersei could have killed him. You know,
and then Daenerys killed Cersei. Yeah, or something.
Or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe Jaime was going there to kill Cersei, and he runs into Arya, and Arya kills anything.
Anything except what actually happened. Yeah, it was very anticlimactic. It was a very anticlimactic, death scene.
All right. Who else is important in the show?
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
So I feel like for Jon Snow, they didn't quite. I feel like they kind of glossed over his kind of metamorphosis from he supports Dany and that's his queen, to having this discussion with Tyrion, to understanding that the only way out for any of them is for him to kill her.
Yeah.
It was very glossed over. They could have, I loved the conversation between him and Tyrion, but it was like it just kind of wasn't enough. I felt like it wasn't enough.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not developed enough.
I don't know what they did with Jon Snow. I mean, shouldn't he have like fought through some guards or something to get to Daenerys?
To get to her. Yeah, to get to her first.
Just to build some tension.
Yeah. And I know something that bothered me that didn't really bother you was that the Unsullied captured him somehow afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
He's in prison. They didn't show any sort of aftermath, like immediate aftermath of him killing her. So I was left wondering, like, oh, they'll show him escaping, or I was kind of waiting, and then all of a sudden they were talking about him being imprisoned by the Unsullied, and I was like, wait a second.
Well,
what happened?
You know what? If they had time, they should have had a trial by combat.
That would have been amazing.
He stabbed her in the back. It's not cool, bro. You're not the hero if you stab somebody in the back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, technically he stabbed her in the front. But
I think he probably got her in the side.
In the side. It was a side stabbing.
You know, they should have done, because he looks like a bad guy in my eyes now, you know?
But does he? Because I feel like he saved everybody by killing her.
Well, then he should have walked up to her with his sword while she's running away and said, "Fight me or I'm going to kill you," and then killed her. That's it.
So you're saying he did it like the cowardly way?
I mean, you want to be stabbed in the back or in the face?
Neither.
Yeah, that's true.
Neither.
I don't want to be stabbed
at all. Yeah.
Okay. What? Yeah, and then Jon Snow's arc is on the wall. He's out. He's north of the wall.
He gets reunited with Tormund.
He's the commander of the Watch. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know. They didn't flesh that out enough. Arya, they were very clear about what she's doing next, right. So that was very clear.
West of Westeros.
Yes, and then
Westeros.
Westerer.
Westerer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then with Sansa, that was very clear. Sansa got what she always wanted.
I know.
She got to be queen.
I'm queen. I'm Sansa.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't...
What was that at the council meeting? Oh, I don't want you. I want to be queen.
Yeah, that's exactly how she said it.
I don't want to do that. I'm queen. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, and everybody was
That's
just...
the writing for the show?
Everybody was just okay with that. Because her argument from the beginning was, we don't want to kneel before, a foreign queen, or, Danny's not from the North, and we don't want somebody who's not from the North. And
Bran's from the North?
Bran's from the North, and she still didn't want to. She was so full of shit the entire last season.
It's just...
okay.
Flabbergasted.
I know. Breathe.
The show.
Yes.
Does it infer that Bran was orchestrating all of this to happen so that he could become king? He let all these people die?
They insinuated that. They kind of insinuated that because he said, why do you think I came all this way?
Right.
But I don't know if he was just talking about this final event, this final, meeting of the council. But I do feel like there was kind of this weird, like you said, like orchestration behind the scenes. But they never fleshed out his character enough so that we could even infer that.
Know his powers or
yeah, they never talked.
Limitations.
And then they're talking about at the very end where he's like, talking about finding the dragon, and okay, I guess he can find dragons now too.
Yeah.
Like they don't explain what he's capable of.
No, I mean, if he can see all of the future and all of the past since he got that power, when you talk to that tree, right? He's been trying to be king ever since then. He's been...
I don't know.
He's been making these moves for himself to become king?
I don't know. That song that Simba sings in The Lion King, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, is just playing through my head over and over because I feel like maybe that's what Bran was doing.
I don't know. I don't know if the show infers it or it doesn't.
We don't know if he's a hero or a villain or just,
a guy
apathetic to everything going on. He's very emotionless throughout the entire season, but they don't really explain why he is so detached from emotion.
Right. And if he is so detached from emotion, I mean, that could be his plan, that everybody dies so that I become king. But if he's so detached from emotion, why does he even care if he's king or not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they don't talk about anything after. They don't talk about what's going to come after he becomes king. They only talk about him becoming king, and then he's with his council once, and that's it. That's all we see.
That's it.
Yeah.
Did we leave out any important characters that we need to talk about? Samuel Tarly. He makes hilarious jokes apparently at the end.
Yeah.
Wait, after everything's said and done, it turns into like some kind of
like a sitcom,
wacky comedy.
Yeah. Are you talking about the council meeting?
The council meeting, and then the meeting they had to elect.
Yes, because he stands up and he's like, how about we let the people, and then they all start laughing. And I remember it was very jilting.
Tonally very off.
It was very jilting because it didn't feel like that was the tone of the scene, because it was like a very serious scene. They're talking about Jon Snow being imprisoned. Tyrion is there. He's obviously in huge trouble. And then all of a sudden, like, everybody breaks out laughing, and it felt like it was not appropriate for, like, what kind of scene were they trying to set?
I mean, it was funny, but it didn't fit in the show.
No, it didn't fit. At least not in that scene. It might have fit somewhere else, but not in that scene.
Okay.
I felt like that scene was supposed to be somber, right? Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I didn't get anything. I don't know.
You were just checked out. That was like, I'm out.
At that point,
Peace.
I was
outies.
looking at the show instead of watching it.
Okay. Got it.
Is there anybody else that we need to talk about? Grey Worm left. Okay. Nobody
Grey
cares.
Worm, yeah. He was going back to Missandei's birthplace.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
supposedly
Bran's
to liberate it.
And Jon is going to go to the wall. I guess I'll leave. I guess.
It was very strange. Very
like,
strange.
why didn't you just leave before? Why do you have to hang out?
I don't know. It was very strange.
All right. I'm done. I'm done with... Okay. Well, let's talk about this on the show. Knowing what you know now and how the show ends, would you recommend somebody watch it who's never seen it?
Yes. Because with the exception of the final season, I think overall, so
some of the other seasons are slow.
Yeah, but I mean,
as a whole,
as a piece if you look at it
art
from beginning to end, as a piece of art, as a fantasy, piece of art. Yes, I would recommend that people watch it, but people who are not into fantasy are not going to like it, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, but
I would recommend it, but with a big caveat to let them know that it does not end.
It doesn't end
satisfying. There's no satisfying conclusion to the end of the show.
Unsatisfying ending. Yes. Right. Yeah. I think
if they're okay with that, then
yeah, because I think as long as I kind of give them a heads up, but like I won't tell them how it would end, but I'll
spoil it.
Because you're a jerk.
You expecting somebody to be
a jerk.
Expecting somebody to be on the Iron Throne at the end? Think again.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I do think. Do we want to talk about what we liked about it?
Oh yeah.
Well, let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about what we liked about just the final season or the show in general.
The final season.
The final season. What I liked about it, as I mentioned earlier, Tyrion was one of my favorite characters in the books. I absolutely adored Tyrion, and I loved that at the end of the show, he became such an integral part of their decision making, and he became Hand of the King again.
Right, even though he didn't want to.
Yeah, I love that he was so involved and that he held so much sway over Jon Snow and the council. So I think that was my favorite. In addition, probably second favorite would be Bronn making another appearance, because he was also a favorite of mine.
Another character wasted.
Yeah, they could have done so much more with him, and they didn't.
Yeah.
But I love that he was there at the end and he was on the council. So.
Okay, so for my positives, none.
No, sorry, I'm not supposed to touch you.
Like I said, my expectations were just too high. It was fine, you know. I was expecting great. I would have really liked good, but it was fine.
It was fine.
And nothing at the end sticks out as good to me. The best thing about the entire last season was when Daenerys comes out and the dragon's behind her and it lifts up its wings.
Oh.
And the wings of the dragon are behind her.
Such a great scene.
Best part.
Yes. That was a great scene. Yeah. That was, yes. Mm-hmm. Very well done.
Right before she gives her Hitler speech, and then...
Yeah, I feel like all she was missing was like the podium so that she could...
Well, she didn't have a little mustache.
Bang her fist on the podium. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very...
I'm sure there's a lot of great stuff, but I'm just so angry at the show. I can't even see straight.
Yeah. I agree. It was... I think...
I mean, it could still be disappointing even if it's good, you know? Mm-hmm. Then that's how I'm going to leave it. Yeah. It's good, but I'm disappointed.
Yes. Yeah, I think they really could have done more with it, and they didn't.
Yep.
And it's a mystery
as to what happened.
Why they, you know, why was it only 6 episodes? First of all, very short season.
Right.
Because I think before the season even started, you and I were like, it's not going to end. It's not going to be satisfying. We were joking about how it's just going to be, you know, it's just going to leave everything in limbo.
Yeah.
And we were joking.
Right.
Like, oh, well, apparently we just hit it right on the nose. Because we knew, well, deep down, we kind of knew it was going to be unsatisfying.
I would have almost preferred they leave some of the stuff in limbo, aside from just cutting it down so fast.
Right.
This is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah. We're done. Woo! Man, what a slog.
Yeah.
that last season was a slog.
Or maybe they didn't even care.
Maybe.
Bransky.
Yeah. We'll just make Bran King. Because that's what George R.R. Martin wants. Yeah. Yes. But how they got there, it just... I wanted more.
George reading Rainbow Martian.
I'm pretty sure that's his name.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It just really left me wanting more, but I did like how influential Tyrion was. But yeah, really disappointing. Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. Oh, the fight between the Hound and the Mountain, that was fun.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, that's something we were expecting, something that happened, and I was not 100% shocked by the end, but it happened.
Yeah.
I was satisfied with it.
Yeah. It was a little, it's so stupid to use the word far-fetched regarding a show that is a fantasy show.
With dragons.
But it was like, it was really hard to buy the mountain was that indestructible because they hadn't really
that's true.
set that up enough. But I was very sad that the Hound died, but I mean it was a cool
what's he gonna
fight
do
scene.
in the show? The show's over.
It was a cool fight scene. Well, he could travel with Arya, know. That's a spinoff I would watch. The Hound and Arya. Whatever.
The Hound, that'd be an awful name for the show. It's a good thing you're
Hound
not
and Arya.
in charge of shows.
Well, apparently, standards are pretty low as far as the show's concerned. So who knows? Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's what we thought.
If you had to Google rate it,
I'm not gonna Google rate it.
The season.
Oh, just the last season.
Just the last season. If you had to Google rate the last season.
A 2.
2 stars.
Yeah. A hard 2.
I would go 3 stars because of how they really built up Tyrion's influence. I liked that.
No, you're wrong. 2 stars.
3 stars.
If Game of Thrones was on Google, I'd go and review it right now. 2 stars.
2 stars.
I wouldn't even write anything.
You wouldn't even write anything.
Just the stars. One of those reviews,
Yeah. What if it was a restaurant review? The food was bland. The service was mediocre.
Everything was great.
My waiter was lazy.
Everything was great until dessert showed up.
Until dessert. Yep.
Which was, I don't know.
And they never brought me my drink that I ordered. Yeah. So, okay.
Can we please wrap this up? I've been trying to wrap it up for ever now.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm done.
We're done. Thank you for watching, Internet. God. Go ahead and
subscribe. This episode is based on something that someone commented.
And if you comment on our YouTube page, you could be the next show.
Yeah.
Could be you.
So give us ideas.
Yeah.
So yes, please, I encourage people to comment on our YouTube page.
Follow the Twitter at thewhatelseshow.
And
send us an email, if you need to give us a paragraph of instructions for a show. You can do that at thewhatelseshow@gmail.com.
I think that's it.
Goodbye, Internet.
Goodbye, Internet. It's so... I don't know what I was trying to say. Cut that out.
It's so... So...
I don't know what I was trying to say.
Good.
Okay.